Hello everyone. So in this session we are going to start with the taxonomical aids. In the last session we have completed some systematic positions of 4 organisms, and before that we also learned about the systematic positions, or it is also known as taxonomical hierarchy or taxonomical categories. The taxonomical hierarchy, it consists of 7 categories. One is a kingdom, and then a phylum or division, and then class, order, family, genus and species. Okay, so you have to go through all those systematic positions of all those 4 organisms. 4 organisms in sense man, housefly and mango and wheat. Okay, so we'll start the next concept of this chapter, that is taxonomical aids. So what is taxonomical aids? How many taxonomical aids are present? So let me introduce you some description of this. So why it is necessary? First we will learn that concept, later on we will move on to the aids of taxonomy. So why it is that much important? So observing the plant and animal species and describing those plant characters and animal species, and writing all those systematic positions, all those organisms systematic positions of plants and species, plant species and animal species, is very important thing. It is useful for the forestry, agriculture and industry, and in some medicinal important. It is also used in medicinal field, and it also used, or it is used as a bioresource. So it consists of, what consists? The plant species and animal consists of so many beneficiary things. To have that benefits from these species, we want to observe the characters first. Why it is necessary? When we observe the characters of plants and animals, we will come to know which part is edible, which particular part is useful in different fields, and what to do to observe that characters and describe that characters. First we have to identify the species. For the identification, it is very much important, it is very much useful, important to work in the laboratory. What will be there in the laboratory? Well, in the laboratory, technical tools will be present, microscopes will be present, the related devices will be present. By using those tools, we can describe the characters. Like for example, morphologically, we can write all the describing physical appearance or morphological appearance of that plant or animal. If we want to check out the internal characters, what we have to do? We have to work in the laboratories by using some tools and instruments. We have to write the characters so that we can give a much data or a much description to different fields. Okay, this is one. So it should need an intense laboratory work. Next is one more thing, we have to do field work. Where will be the plants and animals are available? They are not present in any complex or in any shopping malls. So these are present in forest or in the on the surface of earth. Where it is present, we don't know exactly. What we have to do, we have to search for this. It means what? It is nothing but a field work. So field work, by doing the field work and by observing or by studying under laboratory condition, what actually these are two very important methods for the identification of plant and animal. If we are searching any organism in the field, you just think in the field you are going to search any species of plant or animal. When you search, when you find out that particular species, you will come to know the habitat of that particular species, where it lives, what are the conditions it requires to grow and develop. So you will become thorough when you do the field work. And when you are working under laboratory condition on particular species, you will come to know how it is reproducing, what are the internal parts it consists of. Okay, so like this we can give much more benefits to different fields like forest and agriculture and some industries and for bioresources and also to some medicinal fields. Okay, so what we have to do, next step is, so after understanding all the description and a detailed account on the taxonomical aids, or why it is necessary to observe the or to describe the plant or animal species. It is important in different fields that I told you just now. Okay, so on what basis, by using which techniques it is very much it will become very much successful. The tools or different devices are as follows. Just now I told laboratory condition, working under laboratory condition and working under working in fields. This will bring a better result. Okay, so before that it consists of so many aids, so many methods, taxonomical methods, by which we can easily get an information about the plant and animal species. Now I'll make out the list of taxonomical aids, and those are as follows. I'm going to write in a schematic representation, like it will become easier to remember if I write like this. Taxonomical aids are of different types. One is herbarium. So this is one or first aid of taxonomy. So through this herbarium technology, we can describe and we can store the unknown and rare species. How? I'll tell you, in short I'll tell you. The next aid is Botanical Gardens. You might have visited the Botanical Gardens. What is there in the Botanical Gardens? The unique or the specific feature of Botanical Garden is, what is that? That I'll tell you. Next is museums. So this is very interesting concept. Museums, so many students like to visit the museum. What is there? What will be there in the museum? Okay, we'll describe about that. Next is zoological parks. So this is very interesting and enjoyable aid. What will be there in this aid? There will be well protected wild animals will be present. So we can go and we can enjoy by seeing those wild animals in this particular area. So how it is what is the beneficial to many industries or to any forestry, that I'll mention. The next is key. Key is, it's just a term. Okay, so based on different criterias, what it is having, based on those criterias or based on those describing words, we can easily make out the unknown and the new organism description. The next is flora. The next is manual and monograph. So all these comes under the taxonomical aids. What we have to do now? We have to learn one by one. All these aids are important. So many times in the examination they have given to describe or to explain about the herbarium or about the botanical garden or about the zoos, or they have asked to write the definition of flora or manuals or monographs. Okay, so one by one we'll see or we'll learn all these things. The very first one is herbarium. So herbarium is a storehouse of collected plant specimens, that are dried, pressed and preserved. So it means what? So this is a new word for you, herbarium. Might have let me complete this. Preserved on sheets. The definition itself saying about the herbarium. So just imagine you're walking on the road or in any forest areas or in any place. You find a plant species which is a rare and uncommon species. If you want to observe or if you want to describe the features of that plant which is very uncommon and rare species, what you will do? You will pluck out that plant. If you kept that plant as it is, it will dry and a fungus will attack to that plant and the plant will destroy. Before that, what you have to do? You have to go technically. You have to follow some techniques, some methods so that you can preserve that material. What are those techniques? Those are, first you have to dry that material, dry that plant, and you have to press that plant, and then you can preserve that rare and uncommon plant for longer time. How it is possible? Very easy it is. So, what you have to do now? You have to pluck out that rare and uncommon species, plant species. Consider this is not a good diagram, don't follow this. Just imagine you have collected a plant. While plucking that plant, you have to make sure you are taking that plant, a complete plant. You have not left, just make out any part of the plant, it is any part of the plant is not left over on that particular soil. Okay, right from the root till the tip of the plant you have to collect. And one more thing, just listen to me, you cannot take out or pluck out any trees and all. It is possible only to the herbs or the under shrubs. Okay, so first thing is taking out or collection of plant, and then next what you have to do, you have to dry this plant. For drying, usually don't keep under the sunlight, that will dry completely. The dehydration takes place. Dehydration, if the dehydration takes place, means a complete material will dry, it will become black and all. So the best way to dry the species is take the newspapers or butter sheet, or the absorbing, not butter sheet, absorbing sheet. First just consider, so this is the a sheet, newspaper. Okay, keep the plant, just open the leaves and flowers, everything, just open it and keep it on the newspaper. Okay, and one more sheet of the newspaper you have to cover like that, and for 4 to 5 days you have to keep as it is under any weight object, like you'll be having the beds and any weight material. Under that you can keep the method, or you can keep that newspaper containing plant as it is for 4 to 5 days. What will happen if you have kept like that? The species will remain, like if it pressed like that, it will be open, and the newspaper, the paper will absorb the water content, and the species will remain as it is, and it will become dry. It will become dry, the species will remain as it is, and the thing is, you can easily make out which part is present and which branch is present. Onto that branch the floral buds are present, or the buds, the flowers are reproductive parts, whatever the organs are present, it will be remain as it is. Okay. Meantime, in one day, after 1 day or 2 days, you have to check out that species, whether the fungus is attacking to that species, to that plant or not. If it is infected by any fungus, you have to clean that, and then again you have to put it back. Okay, so that is the best method of drying and pressing the plant specimen. And then what you have to do, you have to take one white sheet, and that pressed material, that pressed plant species should be stick onto the sheet, white sheet. Okay, so just imagine you are having that white sheet, and on that the plant species is present, which is a dried and pressed one. All the visible morphological features can seen on that sheet. So the next step, what you have to do, so you have to write the label. What is the label? Label is nothing but the area from where you have collected that specimen, from which area, whether it is a a hydrophyte or xerophyte or the mesophyte. Hydrophyte means whether it is available in water or on the land. So that you have to write in the form of habitat. The next is, when did you collected that plant species? The date, the collection date, you have to write it on that sheet. And the next is collector's name. Collector's name means, suppose you have collected that species, you have to write your name. Or if just imagine someone gave the plants only to only to ask you just to observe this plant, it is very what is that, beautiful. If someone give that plant, you have to write their names. And the next is, so here after studying all the characters, if you know the genus or species or the family name or the scientific name of that plant, you can write here. And one more thing, you have to write the local name of that plant. If you know, you can write the local name of that plant. After that, what you have to do, you can preserve this material in the, what is that, in the systematical, in the manner of systematic position, or in the form of systematically you can preserve that preserved material. So this is how the herbarium technique used to follow. So in the simple way I told you all these methods, but this technique, it has been followed by the botanists only to study the characters and all, only to study the characters, and they used to describe all the characters, and they used to write the scientific name and local name, to which family it belongs to which class it belongs to. All the systematic positions they used to write, and they used to keep this herbarium sheet in the what is that, in the cupboards and all, so that can use in future and also for the future purpose they used to preserve those pressed materials. Okay, so I guess you completely know about this herbarium now. So we will move on to the next concept, that is, if you have any doubt regarding this herbarium, ask me, and you can do this herbarium technique in your home. Just collect any herb and dry it, press it and preserve it, and you can submit it to me. Take off pic of this of the herbarium sheet and just send it to me. Okay, so this is beautiful technique, it is interesting technique. The next is botanical gardens. What is botanical garden? I visited one botanical garden which is in Ooty. Like they used to call that as a botanical garden, but in real, in India, there one botanical garden is there in Howrah and also in Lucknow. The name of the botanical garden which is present in Howrah is Indian Botanical Garden. They used to ask in the examination. Okay, the Botanical Garden, which is present in Lucknow, the name is National Botanical Research Institute. And one more botanical garden, which is a famous one, present in Kiev, England. But generally, what will be there in the botanical gardens? In the botanical gardens, if you visited these parks or to these type of gardens, there will be the trees and plants will be present. Maybe common or uncommon species of plants, it's not plant, trees or shrubs or herbs will be present. The special feature, the interesting feature is, in the botanical garden, they used to write the scientific name and the family name of that tree or shrubs or herb on the, they used to hang that board, the name board, so that if anyone visit to that particular garden, they can check out, they can learn those scientific names and families of the common or uncommon trees, species of trees or shrubs or herbs. So this is just a storehouse where they used to preserve the uncommon, most of the cases they used to preserve, they used to cultivate the uncommon species of plant. Uncommon means which is very rare species, they used to cultivate those type of plants in the particular gardens. Okay, botanical gardens, this you have to remember. The Kiev present in England, it is the famous botanical gardens they have mentioned in your NCERT book. And what is botanical garden? Botanical garden is specialized gardens have collection of living plants for information. This is a specialized gardens which have information. Specialized gardens which have information about the living plants, have information of living plants for reference. This is known as this is known as botanical garden. So botanical garden, if you check out this living plants, but here in the herbarium we cannot consider the plant species are living. These will be a dried one and dead one. Okay, but only for the information, only for the study purpose we can follow this technique. If we want to see how the life cycle begin and how many years it will live, or for other information or any other reference, we can visit to this type of taxonomical aids. And the next is the next aid is museums. This is the very interesting and fun place. Why so? Because in the museums, what will be there in the museums? In the museums, it have a collection of what? Preserved plant and animals, plants and animals specimens, animal specimens for study purpose, okay. Yeah, okay. So just remember, just recall it, the museum which you visited. A lot of museums will be present in your local areas or in particular districts and all. I visited so many museums where it will be preserved, it will be having the very rare or very uncommon species of plants and animals which is stuffed in the bottles. In our in our college itself, we are having the species, the different type of species of plants and animals which is get preserved in the bottles. It is known as specimens. Why we used to keep those specimens? For the study. Okay, if we want to study, can we use the specimens of living organisms, of animals or the plant? Just imagine if I want to study about the earthworm or about the leech. I am afraid of touching that earthworm or the leech. The leech is, it used to suck the blood, okay, that is very useful to our body, but I am afraid of touching that type of species. How can I study? By holding that species. Only to avoid all these misconceptions, the museums are present or the specimens are present. In the specimens, there will be a sheet, a transparent sheet onto which the species of plant or animal, they used to stitch on that transparent sheet and they kept inside the, and they used to keep inside the bottle. The bottle will be having the formalin solution, okay. So the next thing is, this is just in what is present in our college, but in large museums it will be having a maximum specimens of a species of plant and a maximum collection of animals, not only plant and animal, also not only simple animals or simple plants, and also some mammals and some insects. What they used to do with the insect, they used to collect the rare species or the insects, the species of insects. First they used to dry that material and then they used to keep under the tray and they used to pin that insect. So the insect will be, just consider, we are having an insect, any particular part, they used to pin that insect and they used to arrange number of insects inside the tray. It is known as collection of the species of insect which is present in this type of taxonomical aid, so that we can visit that museum, we can observe that species and we can study those species, the characters of species, okay. The next is After the museum, zoological parks. So the zoological parks, also known as zoos. What will be there in the zoos? The zoos consist of the rare and wild animals, that is for the purpose of protection. For the protection purpose, in the zoos, the responsible persons, the people who has taken the responsibility of that zoological park, they used to protect that wild animals. When we visit the zoos, we used to observe number of species, like right from the bird, right from the lion, or the tiger, or gibbon, apes, and zebras, and snakes, and crocodiles, turtle, tortoise, cranes. Number of species are protected in particular parks, so that if we are preserving, if we are giving a life to the particular animal, it means what? We are protecting them. Okay, we are protecting them from the extinction. Alright, so this is the one method of taxonomical aid, where we can protect, preserve for the future use also, for the future purpose also. So zoological park, how we can describe this? So this is the place where the wild animals are kept, place where the wild animals can kept in protected environment. Okay, so that's all about the zoos. When you visit next time to the zoos, try to write the species. In front of that bone, they'll give the information about that animal, from which origin, from which place it belongs to, and the gestation period of that animal, and what type of food it used to consume, and how many the lifespan of that animal, and everything they used to mention in that board, and try to write all those information. Okay, so that is a beautiful thing to see also and to study also. But according to taxonomy, according to taxonomical aid, what they are doing? They are preserving, protecting the wild animals in a suitable environment. Okay, so the next is, after that we have 4 more taxonomical aids. Those are key flora manuals and monographs. So that I will continue in the next session.